Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
The Kravis Center. You hear it advertised on WNN, on on the NPR. You hear about the Kravis Center on TV. And if you haven't been to the Kravis Center, you're really missing out. And they get the very best shows from Broadway. Now, Linda Birdsey is the marketing person who we all work with. And I am so thrilled, Linda, that we now have these shows coming to West Palm Beach, which we didn't have many years ago. And I think what they do is they come in and now they can go to the Adrienne Arsh Center and the Broward Center and then the Kravis Center. So it makes it easier for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, sometimes we'll get, not every title that comes in will do a routing that way, but periodically we'll, the Broward Center, or the Kravis Center rather, will have a show that the Arsh Center will also have that same season. And every now and then the Broward will get a show that will get the same season, but we try to, I think they more than likely are trying to do more Miami Arsh Center and Kravis Center because there's a little bit more distance there. But we do absolutely have, similar, the tours are out there, the national tours are out there and hitting all of the performing arts centers, and we are one of them.
And I was looking up Phantom of the Opera, which is on a national tour, and I love when I get on your website, how you portray it. It's so exciting.
It's a very exciting tour, Anita, because this is the, Cameron McIntosh, it's his reimagined tour. It's the new North American tour, Phantom of the Opera. So for those, your audience who know Phantom of the Opera, have seen the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway or years past in touring, this will still have that sense of the Phantom of the Opera, still the Phantom with all the things that they, know and love, the music, the scenery, but it's enhanced, it's reimagined. You remember, Phantom is over 25 years old.
Well,
and so now with technology and such, he's added and taken a fresh eye at the production, and so what you'll see is some just enhancements, some new things. The beautiful music is still there. The costumes, the opulence is all there. But you're going to get a fresh, smart, just a different look.
It's hard to think that they could do anything better than it's already been, but I'm sure it will get done, and that is really lovely. And, of course, I'm going with my family, and I hope that everyone, especially even if you have seen it before, as Linda was saying, it's something you want to see again. And if you haven't seen it, shame on you. You must go.
Oh, yeah. Take a friend, take a family member. It's definitely something to experience.
And what are the dates for that?
The 23rd through April 1st. So, visit our official website, kravis.org, and get your tickets.
Right, and that's true. And get on their website because you'll see all the other shows. So let's go down. Let's just make Magic Land. I was thinking of La La Land, and I was thinking of all the shows that you've done. So all the shows that you have had there. Let's go through what someone can think they're going to, what they're going to see this season, please.
Well, we have, right now, we have coming up, of course, we have our Broadway, like you mentioned, the Phantom of the Opera. Following that's going to be Kinky Boots in April. And then ending with our Kravis on Broadway season will be The Sound of Music. So 3 great, beautiful tours of Broadway coming our way this season. But also there'll be some other things on the docket. We have Smokey Robinson's coming March 5th here at the Kravis Center. Always gives a great show. We have the Celtic Woman, on March 4th. Beautiful. The ladies are just, their harmonies are so beautiful in what they do. We have Michael Feinstein coming with part of his Kravis Center Pops Orchestra. He's going to be here on the 13th, and he is awesome. And here he'll be conducting. Actually, on this one, he's not going to be conducting. We have a guest conductor, Larry Blank. So he'll be singing and promoting the crooners. Bing, Frank, and Sammy is the title of that particular production.
Wow.
Yeah, so, don't miss that one. We've got the Royal Scottish National Orchestra coming the 14th and 15th of March. I mean, March is packed, and that's going to be with Nicola Benedetti, the violinist. We have, what else? We've got the American Academy of St. Martin in the Fields Orchestra on the 19th. And then moving into April, wow, we've got more classical with the Lysander Piano Trio. Marissa Mulder is coming, which is in Fragments, which is one of our cabaret shows. The Stuart Pemsler Dance Theater coming in April. I mean, it keeps going on. The Four Tops and the Temptations are making their way here in April, so that's going to be fun. Again, another Michael Feinstein show in April not to miss. This one is to Nat and Ella with Love, so it'll have that theme. Chris Bodie coming in April 15th, great trumpet player. And we've got, my goodness, finishing up in May. Again, as I said before, we have The Sound of Music coming, which will have, be here as our final Kravis on Broadway offering. So we're very excited by that.
So now,
and we also have our spotlight on young musicians in May 5th. You may not want to watch some great young people, high school, middle school, here on stage, showing off their talents. It's called Spotlight on Young Musicians, May 5th. It's definitely something not to be missed.
I'm sure that's true. Now, when you have the shows, are they one night, 2 night, 1 week? I mean, now Phantom is longer, but
yes.
A lot of the things you just talked about, is it just for one night?
Yeah, most of those products, most of those shows, if you go to our website, they're going to be one performance. The Broadways are typically 8 performances. Now, Phantom's going to be 16 performances because it's here for, just 2 weeks. But most of our shows are one night. On average, most of them are one night. So you get a couple of them that might, like Celtic Women, they're 2 performances. Actually, there's a matinee and an evening. Our regional arts are classical. Sometimes will be like an 8 o'clock, and the next day would be at 2 o'clock. So, just check everything out on our website. It's spelled out there for you. The official website, kravis.org.
Are the shows usually?
The official one.
Are the shows usually they start at 8 though? Some people have started their shows at 7:30, but aren't yours mostly 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock when you're coming to Dreyfus Hall, which is our largest hall, which is the hall that all the Broadway's in, all of our big regional arts. 8 o'clock is the typical timing there. In the smaller theaters like Rinker Playhouse or Person Hall, you'll get a 7:30 curtain. So that's kind of how we trade off there.
And I know it's not talking about the shows, but I have to talk about your valet parking. Of all the places that I've gone, you have the best set up valet parking. It's so organized. It's so orderly. It is amazing, really.
Well, I'm so glad that you, have a great experience with that. And we also, for those your listeners who don't want a valet, we do have the 5 floors of free parking.
Yeah, I know you do. But just thinking about the valet, it's a hard thing to bring out thousands of people and have something done so well. So
it takes a coordination for sure.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so the other thing is we never talk about the nice food that you have up on, what is it, the 3rd or 4th floor?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned it. The Bistro Teatro. Yes, it's on the mezzanine level, and it's opened, if it's an 8 o'clock curtain, our doors in the lobby open at 6:30. The bistro's wide open then. And, patrons can get a light bite, a salad, a soup, a specialty sandwich. They've got some lovely, fun desserts, of course, in a full-service bar. And then there are full-service bars, of course, on other levels and in the main lobby, too, on the lower level. But the bistro's a great place to get something quick and delicious.
And we've never talked about this, but I love to go into your gift shop.
Oh, man, Anita, you're hitting all the points here. We have a wonderful little gift shop, some great finds there, some great little treasures to remember your time here at the Kravis Center. Diane Krause, who does all the shopping and keeps that thing, packed and full of just the neatest little novelties. I just the other day bought something for one of my godsons. It was an adorable he loves ducks, and she had these little ducks with the Brio design. I thought,
right.
I'm going to get him one of those. So, just these unique finds, from jewelry to handbags to scarves to just, trinkets. Check it out.
Yeah, it's true. I just, when you go there, it's an experience. So, and if you decide that you want to dine first, there are so many restaurants, of course, at City Place. And
right next door to City Place.
Exactly.
We have lovely restaurants, steak, and any kind of food you're really interested in, from the Asian to the steaks to the, the continental cuisines to the Italian. It's all there.
But the one thing that's so thrilling, especially for people who lived here before there was a Kravis Center, is when you go into that gorgeous hall. And I recently took someone there who had never seen the hall before, and I'm sure you were responsible for some. And anyway, they're very sophisticated. They live in Europe, and they came in and they said, "This is a very beautiful concert hall." Oh. So, you spent a lot of time and a lot of money working it out so that you could have these great shows, because it's wonderful to see a great show, but if it's in that ambiance, it really does help.
Yeah, the Dreyfus Hall is a beautiful hall, as you said, Anita, and it's, and we, keep it up and take care of it, maintaining it, of course, along with Person Hall and Rinker Playhouse as well, or smaller halls, too. So it does, you do need to keep it up and to keep it in its richness and, the seating, the carpeting, the floors, the walls.
Curtain.
It's all,
the curtain is, I don't know what that must have cost.
And the curtain is beautiful, yes.
It's so beautiful when it, draws open and you get to see the performance. But the other thing that Linda mentioned, and I really hope that you will do that, go on their website, which is kravis.org, and you will be amazed, just amazed at what's coming and what you can see right here. Many of you live maybe 30 minutes away. You don't have to go to Broadway. You don't have to stand in lines. The ticket prices are a minimum compared to what you have to pay on Broadway. And the shows are equal. They're just as good, because don't a lot of them come from Broadway?
What happens is, a show will go up on Broadway, and then it runs on Broadway, but then they will mount a touring production of that particular show. Sometimes the show is still running on Broadway and it's touring, and sometimes the show has closed and then it's starting a tour around the country. So.
And Linda, I don't know if you're a dancer or singer, but I have often wondered if we go to a matinee and we see this splendid show, and then you think, well, at 8 o'clock they're going to be back doing the same thing.
I know. Exactly.
How does that happen?
They have a double feature, right? They have a double feature. They do that typically on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and when we do the Broadway tours, it's typically a Wednesday matinee and a Wednesday evening, a Saturday matinee, and a Saturday evening.
I don't know how they really can do that. I guess it's kind of like they get into their place in the world. There they are.
Yeah.
And they come back, and then as soon as they hit the stage again, it's magic.
It's all magic, and they're professionals, and they're the best. And so, that we're just so, happy to present that and have the great talent that comes to on the touring Broadway.
And so they don't go by buses as they used to years ago. They actually board planes, don't they? Go from city to city to city.
Sometimes they're still on buses. It depends, if maybe once they're into a certain state and they're traveling, from one, say, if they're here and going down to Miami, or they're here and going over to the other side of the state, they may initially land in here in a plane and then take off from there, and touring on a bus. It depends, but a lot of it, yes, it's like they're on the plane and they're heading out. Especially maybe they finished their tour here. Ours is the last stop, perhaps, and then they're jumping on a plane to head somewhere else.
So I know I don't want to embarrass you with this question, but tell me, of all the shows that you've seen, you can give me 3. What are your 3 favorites?
Oh my gosh! Okay, you're asking me like favorite children here.
Right? You can't. It's true. Every child wants to be the favorite.
Oh, I don't know. I love Legally Blonde. That was one of the first shows when I came to the Kravis Center when we started the Kravis on Broadway series. It wasn't it might have been in the first season, but I love that show. Wow.
For me, it's Phantom, actually. Isn't that interesting?
Phantom is definitely a show. Yeah, you remember it.
Yes.
It's a wonderful piece. It's the kind of show that if someone has never seen a Broadway show, it's the perfect show to take someone to introduce to Broadway. This is what Broadway is. This is like what you can, and then you go to, I would say Phantom, Lagoon. I don't, a third one. Favorite. That's tricky, Anita.
I know it is. I didn't mean to do that. Well, you can name a few, but There are some that really stay in my mind.
There's one that's coming, a new show. It's new. It's not new. It was on Broadway, and now it's not. But we're going to have it next season. We announced our next 17-18 season, our 10th anniversary. We've been doing Kravis on Broadway now for 10 years. Believe it. So, Finding Neverland.
Finding Neverland.
Finding Neverland. I loved the movie. And I loved what they've done with the stage production and with the music and everything. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So if you like the movie with Johnny Depp, Finding Neverland, it's all about, Jay Barry, who wrote Peter Pan.
Right.
Beautiful production. Oh, my gosh, wonderful. And I saw it twice on Broadway, and I was thrilled when Lee said, we're getting it. Yay.
You saw it twice on Broadway. You must love it.
I did, and I took, I went up like in May of last year, I think, or year before, and then I went back in December, and I had for another, business trip, and I saw it again, I thought, and I brought, one of my coworkers, loved it, and she loved it too. I mean, it was just a beautiful production.
Okay, so, but there's some old favorites that, La Cage aux Folles I love that. Every time I see it, I love that.
I love Lion King. That's a beautiful show.
Oh, yeah, Lion King.
And if you haven't heard, we're getting that in 1819.
You're getting what?
Lion King's coming
You're kidding.
1819. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's
1819. Just remember that. We're in 1617. We've just announced our 1718 Broadway, Kravis on Broadway.
1819.
Yeah. But in 2018-19 season, which will be our 11th season, Lion King will be featured. Mm-hmm.
That must be a very hard show to put on because it has just so many animals, so many little things. I don't know how anyone can do that, but
it's a lot. It's a loading. It's definitely some coordination with loading it in and getting it up. But it is an incredible show.
Right, and that's
incredible
good.
Piece of theater. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there's some of the old favorites. That Broadway just. It started in Broadway, and that's where it's always been with the high kicking and the. Even this Kinky Boots, that turned out, that's just a gorgeous story.
Kinky Boots, which is coming up here.
Right.
In April, right?
Right. Great name, wasn't it? Kinky Boots.
Kinky Boots,
and it was. I guess I saw the movie. And then
the movie, right. And I love that movie. That was
I love the movie also. And so... And do they, what comes first? Do a lot of times a movie comes first and then they do a Broadway show? Or is it the other way?
I think that is the norm. Although there's been a few, like Jersey Boys, they did the Broadway show and then they did the movie.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think, and I think some of the older ones, they did the Broadway show, King and I, and then they did the movie. Oklahoma, I think there was the Broadway show and then the movie. Some of those old ones, definitely did a lot of that. Yeah,
but even Cage was a movie, and then
and then you get the reverse because then you get things like Dirty Dancing, and now it was a Broadway show, or you get what was it? One of our new shows that's coming next season, I get to pitch it to you.
Okay.
Was a movie, and now it's a Broadway type show. Is The Bodyguard.
Oh, really? That was my favorite.
Well, it's going to be a show. We're having it on our 10th anniversary season next year, April 10th to the 15th, 2018.
Oh, but what a movie that was. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how you'll be able to, without the stars and that. That was such a love story, wasn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah, and she's no longer here, which is hard to believe. Yeah. Well, that's great. So there's a lot of people out there who are so clever. They can have a Broadway show, they can make it a movie, or vice versa. And I think that people like to see things that they know. I'm like that. Sometimes there are new shows, but I really do like to go back to something that I feel good about.
Something familiar.
Yes. Am I strange?
No, not at all. I think you're very normal.
Well, Singing in the Rain, of course, was always great, and I guess I think you did that once, and there was rain coming down.
It may have been here. We've never done it through Kravis on Broadway, our brand.
Right.
Oh, we did do this past season. You didn't get to see the American in Paris. It was beautiful.
No, I didn't.
Again, a Broadway show based on a movie.
Oh, right.
And that came after. Movie first, Broadway show second. It was beautiful.
Yep. Now, I actually saw the movie, the Phantom movie. Did you ever see it?
Was that was it old, like an old black and white?
No. I know
the Phantom of the Opera movie. Oh, no. Yes, no, I hadn't seen it. No.
I have it, actually. I even have I think I have the tape, because it changes things. It doesn't end the same way. It goes on. It goes on where after he dies, she appears at the grave and with her husband, the prince. Oh, no, it's really quite beautiful.
Maybe it delves more into what the book is based on.
Yeah, maybe it was too, but
maybe it's based more on the book. It has more chance to deal with what the book is.
Yeah, I think it does. And also, how about the orchestras and all this? A lot of time it's all canned music, isn't it?
Well, we don't. I mean, for us, like Phantom is going to be a 52-piece, both cast and orchestra.
Oh, really?
52 cast with orchestra and cast members. It'll be 52 people total. So that's a pretty big company.
Oh, that's huge. With the orchestra, too, that's just amazing. So, yeah, but a lot of the other, I don't even know how they coordinate that. They're singing, but then the music is in the background, which is canned.
Yeah, you may get some of that. We haven't had too much of that. I can't even think of anything that we may have had that with.
Well, where are the musicians? In the back of the screen?
Well, we have a pit. It depends on the show. Musicians typically are in our pit. Now, with Dirty Dancing, they were actually up on a platform, and they were sort of part of the show. If you remember Dirty Dancing, how they had like the band. So they were sort of the band as part of the show, and they also doubled this for the song. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's because I know the ballet. Whenever I see Miami City Ballet, they always bring their orchestra with them, and that's really important for a ballet, especially.
Yes, it is.
It's but they have the money. They've raised the money for that. But there's something about seeing a live orchestra with a ballet that I think is really important. And now you're doing opera there. We never talk about your operas. Well,
we don't. Kravis doesn't present opera, but Palm Beach Opera is here. They are one of our, renters that come here for the full season every year.
Right.
And they do present, yes.
And so what you do though is you're in charge of Kravis on Broadway. That's why we talk about it.
And all the other products that we do, Kravis Center itself is presenting over 400 performances of various types.
Yes.
Broadway, classical,
theater,
dance, then we have, Palm Beach Opera presents their season, Miami City Ballet presents its season, Young Singers of the Palm Beaches presents their season. And then we have a small theater company, M&M Productions, now have been presenting a few things throughout the season as well.
Busy times. And your staff is not that enormous, I don't think, is it?
No, my staff, my direct staff on marketing we have like 7 people.
You have to really keep in line everything. I mean, all the bits and pieces and what happens. And it's amazing. And then to get it marketed out there so that all this, the group sales must be, they must be pretty big for you.
We have 2 group sales coordinators that work, tirelessly to get, the groups here. So, we keep busy.
Yes, I know you do. Well, once they hear about the shows, then they pretty much book because they all want to come, they want to be together, and you do have some shows that sell out. And if they don't do it quickly, I'll be surprised about the Phantom that it doesn't sell out.
Oh, it has to sell out.
Yeah.
That's my mission.
Yeah.
I've got to get it sold out.
Right. Well, we have to.
Your listeners got to get those tickets. Don't hesitate. Get your tickets.
Yes, that's where I'm going to be promoting that a lot, and I certainly look forward to attending and bringing my family.
We can't wait to see you either.
Thank you. Well, the triplets are 11. What a wonderful thing for them to see this.
My goodness.
And you don't know this, but Bill and I saw Phantom of the Opera in London when it first opened.
Oh, how
It was
wonderful.
just a coincidence. We were there. We had never heard of it, but we had read an article in one of the Palm Beach papers, so we went over there. We said we ought to go see it. Well, can you imagine? And that was with Michael Crawford. And
wow.
So, I mean, it was really fabulous. And of course, you remember Will Ray. And when we came back, we told Will Ray about it because he was such a big guy on the organ. And we all went to North Carolina. He had his little keyboard with him, and we were singing all the way there. I mean, it was something phenomenal that people hadn't heard about it until, the London appearance. And then, of course, it just stormed the whole world.
It just blew up in a great way, exactly.
Right. Is your chandelier going to drop?
It's going to do some magical things. Yeah.
It's going to do magical things, huh? Well, you are a magical person. So I want to make sure everyone knows I'm talking to Linda Birdsey, and she is marketing director, and she is there at the Kravis.org. Of course, for those of you that haven't been there, it's very easy to get to. You go I-95 to Okeechobee Boulevard and just go east, just, less than a mile, and you'll see this gorgeous building there, and that's the Kravis Center. And we're so proud to have the Kravis Center here in our city, because for so long we didn't have anything like it. And we have to always thank, Alex Dreyfus for what he did to make sure it happened. So thank you, Linda. It's always a privilege talking with you.
Thank you, Anita.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.